I finished the hard part, Scavenger. You should be able to take it from here.
Wrong as usual, Hook. Drawing the plans for our new headquarters was the hard part.
Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike. Today I want to talk to you about the XTransbots 85 Gravedigger Scavenger. This is a pretty good G1 representation of the figure of the character, and I am pretty happy about this. The third figure that we're getting for XTransbots. I did get this at Shows. I have a link down below where you can get yours. You can also get the toy version pre-ordered there, and the toy version of the next one pre-ordered at Shows. You remember TH and support your reviewer. But let's go ahead and take a look at this. Look, all modes. We get to check out, you know, the giant arm and how that's going to work and all of this fun stuff, and compare it to the other figures, some of the fans toys stuff, and just see how it scales with, of course, Prime in them. But let's take a look at this third member of Devastator for XTransbots coming up. Alright, so here is the box, and it's kind of strange because it's narrow, deep and wide? No, narrow and deep. It's just oddly shaped, like why not just, well, I know why, so you can put them all together and make a scene where they're standing on a bridge or something. So it's interesting artwork. They went a certain way with it, and that's how they chose to do it. And there it is. Here he is right out of the box, and I want to say there's a couple things that you will want to do with this guy. And let me just show you. These were plugged in straight out the box, so you need to just pull those down so you have knee articulation, or else your knees are locked on both sides. Then this here needs to rotate around. I don't know why, but they just leave that unrotated. And then if you care, and I don't, you can rotate this piece up here, but mine separates as I rotate it. I prefer the piece to be correct, not correct, just have the tab out. I don't really care that he's got that extra little bit. They show it like he's walking around like this. That's not how I want mine. I want mine displayed like this, and I'm going to do robot mode. So, I mean, somewhere like that, I guess, is how I'm going to do mine. That's still quite a bit going on in the back. It would have been nice if there was a better way to do it. But the pistons and stuff, to have all that work, I mean, it's maybe if it rotated, I don't, that'd be more complexity to it. But my space that I'm going to display these, I think, is going to have a lot of back room. So it's going to be fine for what I need it for. But normally, you're probably just going to have it on the shelf like that. Hopefully you can hide that a little bit. But anyway, let's get into looking at the rest of this guy. Now for old Treadlegs himself, let's get a good look at Treadlegs going on here. What's he doing with the Treadlegs? I never liked that look on any of these Constructicons that have Treadlegs, but he has Treadlegs. In person, the glossy finish, is it fully painted on the legs? Maybe. They have a nice gloss to them. That does kind of make it look better and more appealing. And the treads are not so deep. They're kind of very shallow looking treads. It's not as bad in person as I was thinking it was going to be, because I was looking at this in pictures and thinking, gosh, the treads, I never liked that. I never liked that look of it. And fans toys, they don't really even look like treads. So I kind of liked that look a lot better. But with this, it still looks fine. And as these being my bot modes, I'm going to be A-okay with it. The more I've looked at it, I do like the chrome that's on here. And then some shiny, I don't even know, is that chrome? Vac metal chrome on the face? No, it's just silver paint. And yeah, it's got a good look to it. You see the die-cast joints in there, which kind of gives you the look of vac metal also somehow. And then more of the vac metal on this. This is completely two separate pieces down here, leaving some fingerprints. But he does look good overall. A good looking figure. I mean, they're knocking this out of the park. It's really going to be tough to say, is Fans Toys better, XTransbots better? Because they're both doing such a great job. The only thing that I really find different is this does not feel painted. The green feels just bare plastic. And I can understand you could be chipping a lot of paint off on these. I do understand that. It still looks good. Still has kind of a nice glisten to it, but it's nowhere near as shiny as I say. Kind of feel like the Fans Toys ones are fully painted, so there's a little more sheen to it. These might be painted, but it doesn't feel like it, and it doesn't look like it. Seems more like bare plastic, but it still looks good overall. I can dig that and get with that. But the design, pretty simple, very, very, very G1-esque, and that's exactly what I want. I want it to look like G1. I am the Ultra G1 tuner, so it's hitting all of the feels for me. Let's quickly get into some accessories before we do articulation and comparison and transformation. There's his gun, and he holds it well. He actually holds a pretty good shake test, too. Haven't done a shake test in 6 years. No, I'm just kidding. I don't know. Don't know how long it's been. He comes with another head. I'm not sure. It really feels like you could just... Should I even try? It just feels like you could pop it out. And pop it in. Pop it out, pop it in. Let me begin. Which head do you like better? I actually like this one. Feels more G1. Oh, we gotta go back. Gotta go back. Uh-oh. Gotta go more G1. And we're back. Okay. Then, what else we got here? We have... I'm starting to wonder if I'm going to... I think, the more I think about it, I think I'm going to display their gun in one hand and this in the other. Well, I guess you'll have to have the gun swapped in the other hand, and this... I might start that this round. This go-around. This might be what I do. So, I mean, toy go-around. But you get this and the trumpets. When my display, I think I will have them all holding the trumpet and holding their gun. This might be a thing that I do. I'll show you on this head here in just a second. The alternate head of what's going on. Then you get this arm, and let's just make sure he doesn't get knocked over by his own arm. He's got the arm accessory, which we'll see that here in a bit. I did slide it in already. It holds nice and tight. You just slide it in. Work this little piece out. Just works out like so. And then there's his hand. Flip his thumb so you can get his gun in there. And I guess make his hands look like he's holding the trigger. His fingers on the trigger. So we'll see all that here in a bit. And then as for this other head that he comes with, it goes on this guy. I don't know why. I have no idea why we got an extra head for him. So I guess for storage, I need to toss the extra head. Does it go with the... Is it for the original one? I guess original to original. Did the toy one have the correct parts? Was there something wrong? Tolerance? I don't know. But there it is. Alright, let's get into a little articulation with this guy. Head goes side to side, up and down. Does all that fun stuff. Can give a little bit more because of transformation, I believe. And then we get into shoulder. Goes a little bit past the 90. 360, biceps, swivel, double jointed, elbow. Hands have the classic 3 fingers. Then the opposable thumb and pointer finger so he can be rude and point. You know people that point with their thumb out? Isn't that weird? People that point with their thumb out, you're not really pointing. Anyway, we got waist swivel, ab crunch. They're kind of going for magic square ab crunch on this guy. I don't know why. Oh, I know why. Never mind. Transformation. You got some hip flaps. Old school, old fashioned hip flaps. You go out to... It gets in the way of itself. It doesn't drop down. You go out to there and up to here. And dot 90 in the back. It's disrupted by itself. I wonder if you could flip that and get more range. Nope, it's still disrupted by itself. So there it is. Thigh swivel, double jointed knee, and then you got the ankle situation. Now this is just interesting how they did it. It simplifies the transformation a bit, but you can get however far out you want, but it does break the sculpt a bit if you're okay with that. I don't know what kind of pose this is. But you can see it's breaking the sculpt up, but it holds. It actually does get the job done. It just isn't ideal or pretty, but Let's see. Yeah, it's fine. It gets the job done. Plus, well, I am going to use this for bot mode, so it is important how these look posed in bot mode. But I'm not a hyper poser. I'm just a poser. I'm a barely poser. And because it ain't no fun without G1, this is the G1 version. I don't know how good it is because it's from my bag. I got a bag of like part ones to piece together. I was going to try to piece together one more Devastator, but never mind. I'm not. I'm just going to use them for comparisons. And if you get a Devastator together, a G1 together, and it holds together, don't take it apart. Keep it displayed. Anyhow, where we come from, where we're going, you can see how they did have some, like, is it chrome that wore off? Did they chrome the part, cast it in purple, and chrome it? I don't know how that went back in the day, but they did follow a lot. This follows this a lot, including some weird nonsense they do with the feet. It's interesting. Interesting how close they follow the G1. Here is next to the fans toys, and I'm sure this should be good enough for me, for a side-by-side with fans toys. You can see how the fans toys legs are smoother, the purples are slightly different, but my camera is showing the XTransbots purples to be blue, but by the time I get to editing, they seem to be the more closer to the correct purple on that screen, so... there they are side by side. I do think both of them look good. I do feel like Fans Toys has a little bit more weight and heft to it and a little bit more paint all over, but still at the same time, they both look great. You can decide for yourself which one you like more, but I do believe I'm going to be putting the XTransbots in bots mode unless the combined mode of XTransbots absolutely blows me away. Here he is with his other two buddies, old pals, which they're starting to take up a lot of space, even with my slight partial pose. Let's adjust it just a little bit. Maybe this will be my clickbait. I actually have some different ideas for clickbait, but would be fun if I continue this. These are the toy versions, and by the way, the toy version pre-orders for this one and the next one are up on Shozy right now, only $1 down to preserve those. But yeah, looking like a good team. I think I'll be pretty happy with all these on display in bot mode. And I have a special place planned out for them. I actually am trying to figure out how to use that same space, believe it or not, for some bot mode Stunticons. I got some plans, lots of plans. Here he is next to Magic Squares Prime. You get to see size and scale. I feel like it's perfect. I feel like these should not be taller than Optimus Prime because there's 6 of these in the combiners, and especially how small the original G1 was. Just everything. This works. This works for me. I like the scale. Now for the transformation, we're going to start with the hands. You want to kind of just fold the fingers up, get the thumbs sort of up like that in frame. And then you're going to push in on this, and later on it's just going to get covered up, so it's not a big deal. A little bit of the hand's going to stick out. Then you're going to flip this around to where that little notch is on the inside. And then we'll make sure it lines up if I don't have that exactly right. Then we are going to do a few things. We are going to come around here and untab a few good things. This is going to untab. This untabs. And we need to bring this out right here. And then this is going to slide up and out like so. That was actually pretty easy. And then what we're going to do next is turn this waist piece sort of to the sideways area so that we can clear all of this stuff. And we're going to lift up on all this. This is all going to kind of unfold like that, and then it flips around so that you hide the ugly. We're gonna hide the ugly. This is gonna tuck under and stuff when we're done. But the reason we don't do all that, because we could do it now, but we're not doing it now, is because we want to tuck the head away. So in order to tuck the head away, we do the same exact thing on the other side. open that up, open up all of this, and that all opens up. Straighten it, and then flip it, which it's a little harder on this side. You can get that all the way too. A little harder to do the flipping on that side for some reason. And then we are going to come back around and we just leave this sort of open. The head itself is going to flip back, and we're going to fold it like this. And then it's going to tuck into this crevice just right, which that's kind of nice right there. Next, we are going to tab these tabs into that slot, these slots, so one on each side. So then it starts to solidify and it starts to come together right now over me. All right, let's see what we got going on over here. I think I should have had this below here. I don't think that's really going to hurt anything. You can still kind of get that down there, get it below. Now we need to tuck these arms under, and I'll make sure that it all kind of works out. And then this folds up into here, and tabs. Around here we do the same thing. Fold this arm under, up and under. There is a tab there, and then this kind of works its way. So that's interesting. So this side has, oh, that works just fine. Same thing over here. This has got to clear the fist, and then tab in, tab it in, and that's nice and solid. So it's tabbing together pretty good and solid. Flip this around all the way, the other way, because you want it to match the contour of this. And then we have to get it to adjust down. Now, at this point, let's go ahead and flip this piece back. And then this piece here, flip it back around, which mine comes undone. And now you can see how the contour matches, and then tab all this stuff in. This little piece here matches to that. This little piece here. Now, I do need to open this up, bring this flap down. You can open this door, and as it comes down, you tab that door in. Slight difference to this side because it has a door, so that works. Then I guess we got to go back and retab all this again. All right, so now we got a solid chunk up top getting the job done. We're going to be at this point where we need to fold. Yeah, you need the hip flaps pointing to the front. Yeah, that's the way it's going to work, which is so strange the way this is that doesn't rotate. That is odd. That is odd that doesn't rotate. We'll see what we can't do about that. We'll see if I can't override their engineering. I can override their engineering, I believe. So we'll see about that. Anyway, getting into this, for the legs, we need to put it back into shipment mode and fold these down. It's got a small double hinge right there. Very, very simplistic stuff, but it is what it is. Straighten the leg, double hinge that into place. Then we bring this out and fold it in like so, and tab it in. See if I get this on camera. There's a tab there, a slot there. If you got it the right angle, it tabs in just right. Same thing on the other side. We're going to rotate it up to meet up with that tab. Boom, there it is. Then we split the hips. Split the hips. Put this here. And then bring it down. Now at this point, you can rotate it. You can fold this down, and I would think we could have a little flap there. You could, if you wanted it to rotate, at this point, you could still have it as a rotating and working thing. If you want, you have to lift up on it a little bit, but you can override their engineering if you choose. If you choose to override the engineering and not finish the transformation, you can have articulation. I just thought it was so weird that we don't have that joint, but you don't have to follow the rules. I mean, you paid $140 for this thing, so you don't have to follow any rules. I break the rules every chance I get. That makes life fun. Okay, so you fold these two things here up, you bring it down. The correct way to do it is to tab this into here, and then you mushroom tab the sides. Get that good and tabbed in. I don't really need it to hold too well because I'm going to arm mode here in a bit. There you go. It's not bad. I think it's perfect, but I'm gonna cut the frame. So this looks really good, actually. I think we might go down, or XTransbots might go down, as some of the best work that they've done was on this Devastator. Because every single one of these seems to be decent. I love every one of them. And this old tread legs here is not my favorite, but I'm pretty happy to like the tread legs better than I thought I'd like the tread legs. I think the last one I reviewed is still my favorite, but still looks good. I mean, super simple, super G1. I mean, this feels like you're watching the cartoon. It works. It definitely gets the job done for me. I'm really happy with it. I'm not sure how hard it'll be to pop the door open again, but I don't like using spudgers. It seems like it'd be really hard to get that door open again. Did use my nail off camera at a strange angle, and so it opens up. The fact they molded a seat in there, looks a little control area. Be really hard to get a figure in there unless it's a Diaclone character or something. But yeah, that's cool. I mean, it doesn't really. It's a little bit above and beyond, but it doesn't hinder anything with the transformation. I hate when doors are put in and you've got 13 extra pieces because of it. That sucks. But if you would have just had a static door and just one piece, this doesn't do it. You add like 2 hinges. It's not a big deal. So that's actually pretty nice. Anyhow, yeah, looking good overall. Let's get into some of the comparisons here. Let's do that. You could, if you wanted it to rotate, at this point, you could still have it as a rotating and working thing. If you want, you have to lift up on it a little bit, but you can override their engineering if you choose. Here's G1. A couple fun things I want to do with the G1. First off, just show exactly. Yeah, this is a junker from my junker box I was going to do stuff with, but now I'm doing something with it, right? Comparing it. Look how faded it is. That's not the correct green. And like he could be picking his smaller self up and rolling around with it. That's taking out the trash. I want to show something on this arm since I've already got it assembled and showed you guys how to assemble it. When you look, it's got the toy sort of kibble on it. That was where you would connect the piece. You would connect this here. They left that on there as like a homage to the toy, which I think is so interesting that they thought about doing that. It's kind of cool. That is kind of cool that they did that. And interesting, it makes you think that you're supposed to use that for something. Well, here he is with his buddy, the dump truck. Is it long haul? I am not the best with the Constructicon names. I know it usually just because I looked at it before I did the review. I don't have them all. I know Mixmaster by heart, but the rest of them. Yeah, I know. I've got like 6 G1 Devastators, but or used to actually. But still, I just never memorized each one of their individual names. I'm not good at that. My favorite one's Superion. I don't know all their names by heart. But anyway, that's kind of how they look together as a team. So far, they're going to be building a Devastator. And you may ask yourself, how do we get there? How do we get this into the arm? Well, I should start singing now. This has to change a little bit, so we just kind of pull this out. This is a little trickier than you'd think because it has the mushroom pegs on it. And so we are going to pull this up and engage this little segment here. Segment. I really do want to say that I'm sort of pleased with the ease of this figure versus what XTransbots could have done with it. So, and then let's see if we can we separate this a little bit. And then we're gonna just slide it in. Let us begin. We got to get it over all of this right here. It goes together in a few different ways. You want to slide this in, and this has got to get pushed in. All this is going to match up. Then there's a tab and a slot on both of these tread legs. They got to go in, and it's so much easier. I just literally just did it off camera. Now I'm back on camera, and it's just challenging from this angle. Well, it's not really challenging at all. It's just get it tabbed in properly. I just did it off camera. It was a snap, easy, quick snap, and there it is. And there's his hand. I did with fiddling with it. I did knock the gun out, so we put the gun back in his hand for fun's sake. But gotta get that trigger finger look going on. So yeah, it works. It gets the job done. Very, very shiny. I think they really did do some good work with this set. The camera's not picking up the, there it is, the shine and gleam, and it's my fingerprint. Don't scan that in anywhere. We can put this up if you want, right here. It's a thing that you can do, and yeah. So it's got a nice look of modern and toy to it and all that, and I guess the only thing left would be to bring in, I don't even know how I'm going to do a comparison, an arm comparison to Fans Toys. That was always my goal. I think I figured it out. So this is the XTransbots arm. This is the Fans Toys arm. And that's how they look. I guess I could lay them flat on the table. We already know how that's going to connect. We're still kind of like in limbo on how Fans Toys is going to connect. I do want to say that looking at the greens, I like the color of XTransbots, but I like the presentation of how it does look painted, and the Fans Toys, just the look, like a premium finish to it, even if it's just a gloss or a clear coat, which is what I think is what Magic Square is doing. But anyhow, does give it a slight premium edge. I do like the purples. I like the purples on both, oddly enough. I mean, it's hard to tell which one's better, but yeah, it looks good. The hand itself, Fans Toys is a bit bigger, I think, maybe a bit bigger. It's not holding a gun or anything, so but yeah, there are the two arms side by side. Oh, hard to get it all in frame. That might work too for getting to see the arms. And let's put a finger out so we can see how far does the finger go. Yeah, the Fans Toys hands are a little bigger. Does that make a difference? Does that mean he's going to be taller? I don't know. Alright, this is my look at the XTransbots Gravedigger number 85, and I think they did a great job with it. I'm very impressed with everything they're putting out for this Devastator, and I've always liked XTransbots designs, looks, aesthetics, and even this one, it has a couple of QC issues with like that piece that falls apart when I flip it, but it's a piece I don't care about and will never flip it ever again the rest of my life. And so that's about the major QC issue I had with mine. A couple of things mistransformed out of the box. Those are the negatives. The positives, it feels good. It feels solid. You heard all the ratchets. You see how it holds, and I think it looks good. I mean, it's gonna be a tough contender. Really, they are trying to beat the Fans Toys. They're not gonna let Fans Toys just easily scat all over this and win. And it's a cheaper option, and even cheaper at Shows eStore. Let me know what you guys think about this. I'm gonna have a link down below where you can get yours at Shows eStore, TH, and support your viewer. And are you in on any of these? Are you in on the toy looks? I'm doing toy look for bot mode. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Like, subscribe to Dear Hanger out.
Scavenger, your geologic analyzer circuits are better now than the day you were assembled. Let's transform and return to base.
Megatron, you got it all wrong.
We're still working for you and for the glory of the Decepticons.
You see, we eavesdropped on their plans. Plans to build a whopper solar tower that'd produce megawatts of energy.
Energy we could use to destroy the Autobots.
Plans which the rest of you botched up.
Silence!
Now unite! Devastator says your end is near.
Sight was unstable.
I was only trying to help. Emergency! Emergency! Decepticons transform!
It's about time, Scavenger. Your sensor should have detected a potential fissure in that rock before drilling.